But becoming better, overcoming challenges, adapting to new business climates, being more competitive, more productive, better customer service, all comes down to change. The fact is, change is one of the hardest things for humans to embrace. We're afraid of change. But here's the thing. No business, organization, or leader ever has not had to change or adapt in order to succeed and remain competitive. Change is also happening faster today than any other time in human history. Business has changed. Life has changed. We've now entered what's often referred to as a networking society as a result of technology and the ability to share information, making for significant paradigm shifts in leadership, team dynamics, company culture, and the increased responsibility of the individual. And I highlight the word individual because you all have a choice. You all have a choice to change, grow, be better, or not. Here's the question I want to ask you. Are you willing to adapt and change into the modern leader, the modern employee, and excel with more focus, more purpose, more passion? Ask yourself this and be really honest. Why do you do what you do here? And how does it benefit those around you? Write this down for me, please, this question. Why do you do what you do? And how does it benefit those around you, on your team, the customers? Why do you do what you do, and how does it benefit those around you, on your team, and the customers? Think about that just for a second. How do your actions benefit those around you? So let's talk about team. What does team mean? Shout it out. Team. Unity. Unity, together, togetherness. Keep shouting it out. Identify yourself. That was fantastic. The ability to do more. You've got to do more. More for your team, more for the people that are dependent on the services that you provide for the city of Las Vegas. You simply have to do more. I want to quickly share a Cirque-related anecdote about teamwork. This was in Mystère. I remember watching the high bar act from behind the wings with my colleague, Philippe from Montreal. Most nights went smoothly, with Russian flyers getting catapulted 45 feet up in the air, across the stage, caught only by the power grip of an incredibly strong Romanian colleague. But this night was different. It was far from smooth. I remember Philippe saying in his thick Quebecois accent, he said, "Oh no, they are way off, but they are not stopping. This is not good." That's how they speak in Montreal. But next thing, we hear a really loud aerial clunk. It was so loud, everybody in the audience heard it, and they all gasped. Two flyers had collided in midair and plummeted to earth like human ragdolls. Next thing, the two flyers, Vasily and Boris, are lying motionless in the net. Philippe and I said a few inappropriate words in French to each other. I'm not going to repeat them or translate them, but you can imagine. We both knew this was really, really bad. So about 10 seconds elapse after this loud collision, and still there's no indication of life in the net. Now, 10 seconds of nothingness on stage is equal to about 3 to 5 minutes in normal life. There's this strange time warp that happens on stage. And then at a certain moment, several of us go out on stage and we improvise in hope of distracting the audience while management figures out what to do. The show had never been stopped before. Eventually, with still no movement in the net, the musicians come to a confused halt, and the net gets lowered in deadly silence. It was just horrible. I look out into the audience, and I notice people bowing their heads, hands together, in prayer. It was that bad. But it's the way the physical therapist team handled the situation that really illustrated the value and power of team. In this instance, it could have made the difference between life and death or paralysis of these acrobats. Laurie was the name of the therapist, head therapist. She had a team of Cirque-trained EMTs, and they all joined her on stage. Very well trained. They all knew their specific roles, and they all knew they had to observe. Now, when I mean observe, I mean really look, really listen. Listening is key. They also had to really execute. Somebody mentioned execute as one unit. The one acrobat on the left, he comes to. A couple of people around him. He wakes up. He tells everybody he's okay, points at his leg. He's okay. Focus goes back onto the acrobat who is still motionless. And then I watch Laurie, the head therapist, as a leader. She has to attempt to stabilize this fallen acrobat's head. She does that with the help of her team before carefully turning his body to the side. But it has to be done in unison. Had they not stabilized his head altogether, properly, at the same time, with the same focus, he probably would have been paralyzed. But what happened? They executed as a team, in unison, as one. Support, unity. They saved the life. Once they moved his head and stabilized his head, she did the regular thing. She took his pulse and everything. And then the paramedics arrived, stretchered him off to applause. And the show went on, and we had to wait hours to find out what happened. And then the news was Boris had broken his leg on Vasily's head, the one who was unconscious, and we apparently were told his head was made of Russian steel. It was that hard. But both recovered. But without that teamwork, the collaboration, the communication, doing more, impeccable execution, Vasily might not have made it. And I can tell you he's grateful for that teamwork. Now, I appreciate you guys don't have each other's life in your hands, though I'm sure there are times you might want to kill each other, right? Sometimes, yes? But the principles of successful teams applies everywhere and anywhere. Don't put the success of your team at risk because you are not on your game. Be the best you can be at all times. Be focused, be committed, collaborate, listen, pay attention, want more, give, inspire others.